Hey everyone, welcome again to the Demerits podcast. As usual, this is your host Ravi here, and on the other side is my great friend Ruben.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. So Ruben, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, so we're going to talk about marketing, right? Marketing, digital marketing. I mean, not like social media,
Yeah,
digital marketing in the sense, other trends, people follow. Yeah. So
yeah,
and see how what we can do. At the end of the day, no matter what we do from technology perspective, it's all about bringing in the sales, right? If
yep,
you can't bring in sales, then it's no point building all these techs. It's just waste of time.
absolutely. Revenue is the lifeblood of any business, and
Yeah.
it all starts with effective customer acquisition strategies.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, guys, to walk you through this topic today, we want to start with an example that Ruben was actually showing me just before this call. So give me a moment. Let me quickly share my screen. Okay. So check this out. This is actually a recent startup called Mr. Yum, and they've built what can be described as a Shopify for restaurants in Australia and also other parts of the world. And I want to specifically talk to you about
So actually, we
how
can put it
hard.
like this. So basically, how we came across this one was,
Mhm.
so this was one of in one of the startup post. So I mean, so basically, for anything now, the point, the source or direction for most of us is Facebook.
Yep.
I mean, I came across this on Facebook.
Okay.
So in one of the startup related pages.
Hmm.
So and then I went read about them, and then I did a Google search. I think I had hard time finding direct link to this website, so I did a Google search.
Okay.
After doing Google search, I looked up into the pricing section to understand their pricing model. But I had hard time finding, but I haven't gotten the information yet. So Ravi will walk us through this process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's look at how painful it is to get the pricing information. Okay. So this is the website, and up top you have this pricing option. So you click on that, and it takes you to your new landing page. Like simple pricing, blah blah blah, and what do I
So
click to
let's see how simple is the pricing is. So I think just scroll further down.
further down? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they actually make you apply now for pricing. Okay. Takes you to another page. Okay, please fill out this 2-minute form to learn more about Mr. Yum and get in touch. Okay, let's start. Let's see how many minutes it takes and how easy it is.
So now the time is
8:40,
8:14. Yeah.
yeah, local time, Singapore time. Didn't I just give you my last name? I'm just keying in fictitious information. All this is fake.
Yep.
I'll just key in the same number shown here. Oh wow, more steps. Let's choose all of them.
Let's say that I run a simple medium scale restaurant.
Hmm.
So yeah. So
What's your main driver? What does it even mean?
actually, you have to select from the. Okay. Yeah. No suggestions found. So I'm running. Okay.
You want me to change that?
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I want to say I'm running a mobile shop.
Oh God, are you kidding me? Okay, I'll just click owner. Social media, right? That's how you found out about it.
Yeah.
What POS system do you use?
No,
Oh,
you have to select from there. Yeah. I mean, people say basically. So in my course, I studied this interaction design.
mhm.
As a part of the design, we also should design the customer
Friendly.
feedback kind of forms.
Okay.
So designing this form is also an art.
Yeah.
It should be to the point, and it should not be too painful,
Yeah.
and it should not make your customer think too much. If you think that they will think too much, they're not going to your customer. Basically, you're not targeting right customer. So yeah, I mean, this is the experience that we went through. I'm not sure, like, but I find this personally painful. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of inclined to agree with you, Ruben, because they promised it'll take you just 2 minutes to fill the form out, right?
Yes, yes,
So
yes. So it weighed 14, so it took 4 minutes. Yeah.
yeah, it took about 4.5 minutes to fill this out. And as you rightly pointed out, I felt kind of annoyed by filling out some of the questions. Like
Yeah.
I was, thinking about just abandoning and moving on at some
Yeah.
point. Anyway, but the biggest disappointment is I filled in all this and they couldn't just give
I
me a
don't I don't get any price information. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. All right.
I mean, if they are as transparent as what they claim, so it's just not so transparent.
Yeah.
If you click on that, they will say it's more transparent pricing, right? If you click on pricing,
Uh-huh.
so it's just not as transparent as they say.
Okay. So question is, Ruben, like what would you do to improve on this process?
So I mean, first and foremost, the product you are building, right? So that which market you are addressing.
Uh-huh.
So over there, they asked blah blah blah. What kind of industry or from what kind of restaurant you're running and all those things, right?
Mhm.
But from your perspective, that these are all the kind of industries it could potentially addresses.
Yeah.
So once the point of entry, once someone who is interested in knowing the price, the
Mhm.
first thing you should do is how can we understand this guy better
Mhm.
without engage him rather than like give him some pains, just like what we have experienced.
Mhm.
So the good thing to do is design a form. Basically what you can do is, okay, put on your email and then get your location, so you get to know where people are finding your product interesting. Basically we are from Singapore, so this is something that they should know, from where customers are coming in. Get their email address, phone number, and
Mhm.
also get them what is the right time to
Contact.
call you.
Yeah.
Yeah, contact you, and then just give them a call. That's all.
Okay.
So if you want to like tell them the pricing, over some other means, else you just email them, because it's not like okay, so this is the pricing of a product. So when can we set up a session to like show us more about our product? So it's just make it simple. That's the very important part. So
Mhm.
these days with TikTok and all these things, people say that the attention span of people is getting very low and low,
Absolutely. Yeah.
because they have many different form of avenues to get entertained,
Yeah.
to engage them. So they just want to see something, and if it's a bit too boring, and then they just move
Just
towards
move
something
on.
else.
Yeah. 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 Attention spans are definitely shrinking all over the world. and people
Yeah.
don't have the patience for, like long form blogs or long videos.
Yeah.
But Ruben, allow me to push back a little bit. See, I do agree that it was a bit painful to punch in all the information. And at one point I was, like a little impatient. Like, why are you making me jump through all these hoops just to,
Yeah.
understand what the pricing plan is?
Yeah.
I have 2 points using which I want to push back. Number one is, like you really want to be secretive about your pricing sometimes. Like you don't want competitors to understand what kind of prices you are pricing your products at. So perhaps that is one reason, they just didn't show you at the end of the form, and maybe they want to like reach out to you separately. Maybe it could even be like, different parts of the world react differently to different price plans. I know for a fact that Asian customers are extremely price sensitive, right? So maybe they have data telling them that, okay, for a region like Singapore, which is super price sensitive, um, you kind of, work out what price to you give them, and then you like call them up later and give them the price plan accordingly. And the second pushback I have is, like you pointed out, right? Customer attention spans are very low. So nowadays, if someone calls me to do a marketing call, and it's more than a minute, I just say, I'm sorry, I'm busy, or I have a meeting. Let's talk later, and just hang up. So maybe, like they want to get as much information from you as possible when they have your attention. Like, imagine if these guys.
I mean, if I give you my number, it's a different story, basically.
Mhm.
I mean, if someone calls me up so randomly and then
Mhm.
I didn't give the number to that person, then that's not a winning call.
Okay,
But if it's the other way around, it's highly likely that you want to talk to them because you're the first engager.
okay,
You made the first.
I get your point. Okay, yeah, I agree with that. But still, like, let's say they call me, they give me a call, and then they sit and ask me all these questions. How did you find out about us? How many people does your restaurant have? And all these kind of basic questions. Chances are, I might get annoyed. So I guess one strategy is to collect as much data as possible. Perhaps, maybe it could even be like this. Okay, if the customer is from Singapore or from China, our data tells them that we spend about $1,000 per customer to acquire them, but we only get $100 of revenue. So maybe just move on if the customer is from China. Maybe they don't won't even give you a call. So
I
I
mean,
guess.
you should get their geographical information up as a part of the form, because it's a data to show from where the traffic is coming. So this is so that you can target your advertisements accordingly.
Yeah.
I mean, once you know that, okay, so you get good traffic from these kind of countries, then you can target. Yeah.
But I would
Yeah.
also argue that, having this kind of granular data can really help you price your plans accordingly. Like, if you remember, one of the questions was, how many venues do you have? Like, how many locations do you have, and how many seats per location? Like, it could well be that a restaurant owner who has just one location and seating capacity of less than 50 responds well to a pricing plan that is between $100 per month and $200 per month. So I would say that the data can be really helpful sometimes to make
I
decisions.
mean, what I'm saying is the data is never not helpful. Data is never not helpful. But now the thing is, how do you, people are impatient. How do you, there is a fine balance between getting the data you want and then keeping this guy patient.
Okay.
That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. I'm not saying these data are not at all important. No, that's not my point.
Okay.
So when it comes to customer engagement, there is a fine line between getting the data you want and then keeping the customers engaged.
Okay, I get it.
That's my point. Yeah.
I mean, personally, I would have liked to see. I would have liked to see less number of questions. I didn't mind answering all the key questions, like how many customers. I thought that was a good question. How many customers that you have per location? Yeah.
And then from my perspective, for the pricing, we saw, right, Blue Origin and SpaceX. Blue Origin sued NASA because they gave the contract to SpaceX. The SpaceX fundamental pricing approach is, so what it cost me, what it cost me, I'm employing this many people, and then this is my hardware cost, material cost basically, and then other costs, and then on top of that I have some margin. So and then I price my product accordingly. So, and then what Blue Origin did was, and then they quoted around $2 billion to NASA to build the lunar lander.
Okay.
What Blue Origin did was they did the reverse.
Okay.
They looked at what is the budget of NASA, and then they quoted something below the budget.
Okay.
Around $5 billion Blue Origin. So it's actually like more than like close to 100% of what SpaceX quoted.
Okay.
So, and then that's when they got pushed out, and then they sued NASA, and then all those dramas were going on. So what I would say is, for long-term success of any business, you should always take from bottom-up approach. Okay, so to make this phone, I have these many items, and this is my material cost, and then I have these software, and then this is my development cost, and then I have marketing and other expenses, and this is the cost. So at any given point of time, if you think that your competitor can overtake, you will get in terms of cost perspective, you will get an idea of what makes up your product and how you can make it cheaper.
Yeah.
So, and then if you can operate at this structure profitably, then you are actually a really good company. But if you see, okay, so if you are this kind of customer, I will give you higher price. If you are this kind of customer, I give you lower price. So this is not gonna I'm not sure. I'm not a successful business guy yet, so I can't comment. But this is a realistic approach that makes more sense.
But actually, Roman, you know what? In the industry I am from, engineering and construction, we do have variable pricing plans depending on the customer. Even if you go to an electronics components vendor, right? Like when you build a plant, you install a lot of field instrumentation like pressure sensors and temperature sensors and so on. Okay.
Yeah.
And one of the big vendors for these items is, say, Honeywell. Okay, they're a US instrumentation company. So Honeywell has a different price plan for an international company like Dow or DuPont, and they will have a different, cheaper price plan for a regional customer like Petronas. So sometimes it does tend to work because they know that all these Asian regional companies are extremely price sensitive. They don't mind going and buying something from China if the price is right and the quality is decent.
And and also the volume should play a part, right? If this customer are buying like 100K product and this guy is buying only 10K product, then your volume setup cost is completely different. So that should also be factored in when it comes to telling your customer the cost, and then from where you're producing. So that also helps. But why don't you produce all in cheaper place? So these kind of questions come in. But it's fine. So if you do your own stuff, then you get to decide your own price based on
the
sales.
You quoted a beautiful example, SpaceX as well as Blue Origin, two great examples. The thing is, in these industries, things are made to order, right? Like SpaceX isn't going to go and build a rocket unless they have a definitive purchase order from NASA, right?
Yeah.
So in those kind of industries, it's very difficult to kind of figure out, your demand and kind of make these products and put them on a shelf. So, my point is things are made to order, and sometimes, having differential pricing really helps. It kind of balance out your revenues. Like 10 customers can be overcharged, and 10 customers can be, you make a very small margin.
If it works for the business, then just go ahead. It should be fine. So, from my perspective, right, I was doing the ordering app. So for me, I just want to be plain and simple. I want to price my item product at $100 a month. So when I go for $100 a month, so so let's say that you have a startup, you have like three engineers working on it, plus two other people to manage, your co-founder and some admin stuff.
Got it.
So you can't, this team cannot price their product at $100 a month.
Yeah.
So because in the long run, even if they burn through millions of dollars of investors' money, in the long run, when the reality comes in, so they should have at least how much? So these guys, assume that these they pay these guys 5K across each, so it is how much? $25,000 a month, and
Okay.
then plus put an overhead of 10K.
Okay.
You're renting and all those things, so it's 35.
Hmm.
So you should have at least how many? 350 customers paying you $100 a month
Hmm.
to be profitable,
Hmm.
monthly profitable.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, that's a number for them to achieve. So I mean, I think it's achievable, right? If you run through all these investors' money, 100 customers, it's not a big deal. So on anything above that is your profit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the same time, this is my perspective.
Okay.
If you want to price variably across your customer group, then yeah. I mean, so as a startup from my position, upfront, at very beginning, if they want to give it $100 a month,
Hmm.
it's not gonna do it for them, because in the first 1 year you will have only 10 customers.
Okay.
So yeah, you have to burn through investors' money. Without investors' money, you cannot be successful.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a difference. I'm just trying to bring up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is about marketing, right? Marketing.
No, that's fine. Pricing is also an important part of marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to figure out your pricing plans according to your target markets. So it is a relevant discussion. Like consider what Netflix did, Ruben. Like initially they priced their subscriptions a lot lower, right?
Yes.
But they were like burning through millions of investor capital. But that was an important customer acquisition strategy. Once they won the market share, so to speak, and customers understood the value that Netflix provided, Netflix slowly started tightening the thumb screws, to use the British expression, right? In fact, if you see now, like I think they raise prices like 1 or 2 times a year.
Yeah.
I think recently also they raised their prices.
Yeah. Also the stock price we shared in the group, right? The stock price dropped 20%.
Yeah, I think it's a market overreaction, but it might be a good buying opportunity. But apart from that, I mean, besides that, like think about the Netflix model. Like now, more and more customers are signing on to Netflix every year, but their overheads remain almost constant. But still, they are like going ahead and increasing their prices every year. I think that's a good strategy. You demonstrate value to your customer. You prove that their lives will be worse off without the product, and then
but these days they have other options coming up. But the strategy is the important part that you are saying.
Yeah.
So you demonstrate the value and then increase the price you pay for the value.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, and I don't mind paying a little bit extra for Netflix, every month. It's like $2 or $3 extra. That's fine. It's a small part of my salary. It's less than like 0.5% of my salary. But the pleasure I get from Netflix is really good. After a long day's work, I can sit and relax in front of Netflix.
Yeah.
So,
and also if it saves you from going to movie often, then it's actually profitable.
Yeah. Especially in a country like Singapore, where tickets cost like $13 to $15 for a 2-hour movie, right? I'm paying 10 hours for unlimited content. I'm paying $10 for unlimited content.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. Demonstrate value proposition. Then once your customers are convinced, raise prices.
Get them pay more.
Yeah. Well, all right, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion. We look forward to bringing you more such sessions in the future. As usual, please leave your comments and tell us what topics you'd like to hear us talk about. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Take care, everyone. The weekend is coming up. Stay safe. Bye.